Have you ever heard of a place so haunted, so utterly cursed, that it doesn't just scare you, it erases you? Forget ghosts that go bump in the night. We're talking about a room that swallows things whole. Welcome to the Grand Hotel Majestic, home to the infamous Room 13. The Majestic was once the jewel of the city, a grand dame of architecture where the rich and famous would waltz the nights away. But over time, its glamour faded, its marble floors cracked, and a sinister legend began to cling to its walls like ivy. The legend of Room 13. It started subtly. A guest would complain about a missing watch. A maid would swear she left her cleaning cart right outside the door, only to find it vanished. Small things, easily dismissed. But then, the disappearances got bigger. Luggage, furniture, a potted palm that had been in the hallway for 50 years. Anything left in or even near Room 13 after midnight had a nasty habit of being gone by sunrise. No trace, no explanation, just empty space. The staff developed a ritual. A thick velvet rope was always placed across the doorway of Room 13. A heavy brass sign read, "Permanently unavailable." They told guests it was under renovation. But the older staff, the ones with shadows in their eyes, knew the truth. The room was hungry. My story with Room 13 begins with a journalist named Leo. Leo was a skeptic, a man who made a living debunking myths. To him, Room 13 wasn't a paranormal entity. It was a challenge, an unsolved puzzle. He bribed a night porter, a young kid who needed the money more than he feared the ghost stories, to let him in. The plan was simple. Leo would set up a series of cameras, lock himself inside, and document a whole lot of nothing. He brought a tripod, a laptop, a thermos of coffee, and a heavy, antique armchair he'd bought specifically for the experiment. He dragged the chair right into the center of the room. "Let's see you make this asterisk disappear," he muttered to the empty space. As midnight approached, the air in the room grew heavy, thick like molasses. The temperature plummeted. Leo, wrapped in his coat, checked his cameras, all running. He sat on the floor, his back against the wall, his eyes fixed on the armchair. The first hour passed. Nothing. The second. Nothing. Leo started to feel a bit foolish. He sipped his coffee, the bitter taste grounding him. He was just about to doze off when he heard it. A sound, not a creak, not a whisper. It was a soft, grinding noise, like sand being poured slowly onto a wooden floor. His heart hammered against his ribs. He looked at the armchair. It was shimmering. The edges were blurring, losing their definition. He grabbed his main camera, his hands trembling through the lens. He watched in abject horror as the leg of the chair began to dissolve. It wasn't fading or turning invisible. It was unmaking itself particle by particle, turning into a fine, dark dust that simply ceased to exist before it even hit the floor. Panic seized him. This wasn't a trick. This was impossible. He scrambled backwards, his breath catching in his throat. The process accelerated. The rich red velvet of the seat disintegrated. The carved wooden back twisted and then vanished into nothingness. Within 5 minutes, the entire solid armchair was gone. The only thing left was an empty space in the middle of the room. Leo didn't scream. He couldn't. His throat was a knot of pure terror. He knew he had to get out. Now. He lunged for the door, fumbling with the old brass knob. It wouldn't turn. It was sealed shut, as if it were part of the wall. He was trapped. He backed away from the door, his eyes darting around the room. And that's when he saw the new sign, the one that hadn't been there before, hanging on the inside of the very door he couldn't open. It was identical to the one in the hall, made of the same heavy brass, but the words were different. They read, "Permanently occupied." Leo was never seen again. The night porter who let him in swore the door was still locked from the outside. The next morning, when the manager finally opened it, the room was pristine, empty. Leo's cameras, his laptop, his thermos of coffee, all gone, just like the armchair, just like Leo himself. The Grand Hotel Majestic still stands, and the velvet rope still guards room 13. They say if you walk past it late at night, you can sometimes hear a faint sound, not a scream or a cry for help, just the soft, persistent sound of typing, as if a journalist, forever on a deadline, is trying to write a story he can never, ever finish.